What's up, people? Alright, here we are. Let's do it. Uh, set my timer now. Alright, go. 68 minutes. Set it up. Let's do our time here. And we were making pretty good progress yesterday. Sure to review everything pretty thoroughly. Edited it because I wanted to make sure what we added was, needed to be added and was correct. So this is where we stopped. Just jump right back in. Alright, so we have, this is reference to the if start new game, we're instead choosing to reconnect to. In this case, we wouldn't need to get the received client ID from server side since we would already have received it previously. We would instead assign it by loading from save file. If we had the, yeah, gotcha. Okay, so we can get rid of this, load the game ID, client ID from the DB since all three added together via atomic operation means if we have one, we have all three in the database. Cool. And then ask AI, do we need to use in keyword for execute many when using insert, update, delete, or only with select? Oh yeah, because we got corrected on this syntax. It says that the syntax was not correct. Well, before we fixed it, we added in the in keyword. Before it was select value from save data where object name is equal to. And then I just put a single placeholder, but you're actually supposed to use in, the in keyword, and then you have to have the amount of placeholders relative to the number of elements in your iterable. If that makes sense. So let's actually, I already did execute many. Let's look for execute many here and see if we can figure out what we were, the proper syntax. So here it says commit tuple data, insert into save data, object name values. Okay, see, and this gets kind of confusing. I was saying how easy SQL was, but what's not actually easy is knowing what you have to put in a tuple and what you don't. That's actually turned out to be pretty difficult for me to remember. For instance, these elements are not inside of a tuple. But that's because they're singular. Each element consists of just the one data point. So this would refer to the client ID, second one would refer to the game ID, and the third one would refer to local or remote. But in this case, insert into save data, object name value, and the values are, we use two placeholders, and then we just pass in this name of the tuple, but it's a tuple of tuples. And yeah, so the first one, well, See, this is kind of confusing to me because so this first placeholder actually refers to let's see, insert into save data, object name value, where values, and then it's gonna okay, it's gonna iterate through this tuple. And since there's two, they have to be in a tuple. But since there's only one, they don't have to be in a tuple here. So okay, it depends on the amount of parameters. But that's kind of confusing, isn't it? Because this, we're actually only dealing with one column, object name, but we have to have 3 placeholders. And I don't understand fully why that is. Stack value from save data where object name is in. So I want to test this actually, just to make sure this works. So let's go over here, and we'll just right here, paste this in. And we're selecting the value from save data where object name is in 1, 2, 3. But you see here in the other execute many, I'll bring this to the execute many section actually. So let's look for execute many. Here we go. Let's put this down at the bottom of the execute many. Alright. So let's create the table. We'll say cursor execute many. Rather, we can just use the table creation at the top. 291. Go back to 291. So we go up here. Alright, so we create this table. And then we're going to... So now we need to add in the data to the table. So we need to do... We can do cursor. But what is cursor not enabled? need to, here we go, we'll do option 1, should be auto committing. Okay. So, no, we don't want GameCon. Yeah, that's fine actually. We can use GameCon. We need to enable the cursor. There we go. So game cursor equals GameCon cursor. All right. Now we go back to 291. So then we do cursor. Why is it still blue or still white? Not the correct color. What's the deal? Oh, because it's called game cursor. Doofus. What happened to just cursor? There it is. There we go. I was in the wrong section. I'm an idiot. Forgive me. There it is. So we have the con and cursor. There you go. Now we go back here. There we go. Cursor execute. And what we want to do is we can do execute many, and we want to add in, we'll say, we want to add in the we'll call it the insert iterable, and then we'll have a tuple consisting of tuples, and the name would be do client ID, game ID, local or remote. Copy that. I'm gonna put this inside of a tuple. I hate how it does that. Like, it doesn't notice that you already have the parentheses opened, and it does double. So there's gonna be our object name, and then it's 291. The table is gonna have the value blob, so we need to change that to be a binary large object. And you know what? I would rather not use the binary large object. So we're going to use game cursor. So you have GameCon, game cursor, and then game cursor execute create table, and we have object name text, and then ID int. So let's go over here. And we have insert iterable. So this would just be 1, and then we'll make this one be 2, and local or remote. Will be 3. This is just for testing purposes. And now we have cursor execute many. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, oh yeah, it's actually, I hit page up instead. Whoops. This is gonna be game cursor, and this one also is gonna be game cursor. Now we are gonna do insert into save data, where, or rather insert into save data values, and then the placeholders are going to be actually 2. Even though we're inserting 3 different elements, but then we say comma insert iterable, but I'm pretty sure that's not right. So let's go back to this execute many. Now I'm gonna get this execute many down. It's coming, okay? Insert and save data, object name value, and then values, and then commit tuple. So actually that is how you do it. And there's the 2 columns represent the 2 placeholders. Okay. So that's actually should be correct. So this should insert them into the table. And then we're now going to use the execute many select to select from them. And we have 3 placeholders instead of 1, because I think when you use select, you have to have the number of elements in your placeholders spot that you're iterating through in the iterable, not the related to the column that you're dealing with. So I think select is different. To test this, we're going to go right here. We're going to say execute many, select value from save data or object. And then what are we going to do? Say what do we need to do now? Because now we need to do game cursor dot fetch. And then just print that. Alright. So now let's make sure that the game database doesn't exist already. Doesn't. Control F. So 291. Says it's unmatched. Messed up there. Yeah, I see what I did. I need to put forgot this one. Sure is not defined. Line 86. I forgot to disable something. There you go. Let's go back to 291. No such column value. Alright, change it to int. I'm sorry. Because we're using different tables and different names and stuff, so we need to say insert save data, rather select ID, and then delete this file most likely. It's gonna throw a duplicate error. Okay, execute many can only execute DML statements. Alright. GPT, is Grok 3 free? Grok 3 3 is free for a limited time. Grok 3 is available for free. It's funny because I was like, I wonder if it's free, and I was like, I bet they're gonna make it free for a while. In your benefit. The age of reasoning agents. This is all cool. Pong mixed with this is a cool little game right here that made. I know they were talking about it mixed Tetris and Bejeweled, which is cool. Pong mixed with whatever that is. That's pretty cool, man. It's amazing how creative AI is. It's insane. It's just completely different than humans, right? Let's ask Grok. Here we go. Grok 3 is enabled. Why does it say Grok 2 though? There you go. So let's ask it about. Let's paste in our spec in. So, and I'll turn on think. Yeah, let the model take its time. I would rather it give me a right answer than a quick shitty answer. It's verifying that I'm human. Okay, so I have to verify. Just continue with a goggle. So, showing you what he's thinking. That's cool. Crazy once we all get then we can connect to Starlink, and then we can all be connected to each other, connect to all knowledge, and be able to like download this into my brain at the speed of light. Wouldn't have to look it up. It's kind of scary. Let's answer. Give me a long answer. Okay. The error message you're encountering SQLite execute many can only execute DML statements. Occurs because you're trying to use the execute many method with select statement in SQLite, which isn't allowed. Let's break this down and fix it step by step. SQLite and SQL data manipulation language include use modify data in the database, and execute many is designed to execute such statements. So we have insert, update, and delete is DML. Select, however, is a query statement used to retrieve data, not modify. It's not a DML statement, so execute many cannot be used with it. Your code. Yep. Shown a select statement, which you're trying to achieve from your coding. So iterate through each object name, grabbing value. Seems you want to retrieve ID values from the table. Object name, which is name iterable, for example. Object name iterable is name 1, name 2, name 3. You want all IDs where object name is name 1, name 2, or name 3. It doesn't work because it's meant to execute the same SQL statement multiple times. Each with a different set of parameters. Specs where each item is a tuple of parameter. Even if execute many supported select, which it doesn't. It wouldn't run the tuple object name interval, which isn't what you want. You want to retrieve all matching rows at once using the in clause. Let's fix this. Use execute instead of execute many. Execute method is a single and relay select with an in clause. However, since The emitter will contain a variable number of values. Not always exactly 3. You need to dynamically generate the inflaws with the correct number of placeholders. Since the object name, it might contain a variable number. But it will, because I know it's only going to be 3. Okay, we don't need to do that. Select ID from save data where object name and placeholders. Or question mark. There's 3. Yeah, and the whole idea that AI is like bad for critical thinking. I'm just kind of like, I don't know about that. I don't know. If you're using it to do all your work, yeah, but if you're just like, I'm sorry, but not noticing a comma when you have like a missing comma when you forgot to put a comma, having AI show that, like, harm your critical thinking skills. Maybe your attention to detail, but I don't even think really that, like, so, as you could say, your frustration from not being able to would do, and then you would and it would to missing comma, and then like make your brain remember it better because you were frustrated about it. I guess it's probably true. Select ID from what we need to do just to execute. Select ID from save data where object name is in. So let's try this now. Okay, there we go. It worked. Alright, so we fixed it. So this is the line that we need to use. So let's just remember that we can't use execute many with select. Can only use within. Let's copy this line. There we go. Now we can go back here. So that was the problem. Execute many instead of execute. So it's going to select ID from save data where object is in. Alright. Oh yeah, and let's test it with bench 1. It's 3 times. It should give us 1 and then 2 and then 3. Go down here and delete this database file and run it. Yeah, so that works. Okay, so that's cool. Let's like to put this in the have a fetch one. So fetch one. We'll put this in its own little category. Say fetch many. There we go. So let's do fetch. Change this to fetch one. So these are blobs though. We have to deserialize them. So we need to say But shouldn't it be serialized? Oh, that was just in the test, though. I'm an idiot. Serialized. I'm just reviewing everything. It's worth it. Every time you add code, just put your little discount double check. That's what I put this thing. And then everything. So now for reconnecting, we will have the object name iterable containing client ID, game ID, local, or remote. To execute, we select value from save data where the object name is in. We use numbers because there's the iterable, and then we iterable. So that selects them. Then we use fetch1 to each item, starting with the client ID, and we do at index 0 because it's going to do a tuple, so we're returning the element inside of the tuple by using index 0. Then we have serialized game ID. Same thing. Return this, and then which is properly the game ID. Well, actually, remember we don't know order. That's something I need to know. Will it return is in the order? Will this code always return the select in the order of that take place, i.e. first ID, second game ID, or questions about the code below will always return the values in order as they appear. Name interval, client ID first, game ID second, and local or remote. Client ID, game ID, local or remote. So execute, select value from save data where object name. First fetch, second fetch, third fetch. The short answer is no, this code does not guarantee that the results will always be returned in the order name interval. 7 to why this is the case and how to ensure the order you will. I think I caught this. Why order is SQL select without order. In SQL, when you run a select query like select value from save data or object name, the base returns rows matching the where condition, but it does not guarantee any specific order unless you explicitly use an order by clause. Order of rows returned depends on how the database engine should be. There's like the physical order of data in the table, indexes, and then internal query optimization. To your query filter, where object name is one of client ID, game ID, or local or remote. The results could come back in any order, value for game ID, then client ID, or any other permutation. What does permutation mean? An arrangement of its members in a sequence or linear order. Here's that. Fetch one behavior. Fetch one retrieves the next row from the result set. Each time is called in the order the database provides the rows because the query itself doesn't enforce an order. Iterable. This works 100% as tested. It will be testing. This might be true in your current setup because the row in your be sorted due to how you inserted them. Be small. Be returning row. It's not guaranteed by centralized behavior. As the table changes, rows are created, deleted, or reinserted or to run the system. Turn. Then, gotcha. How to guarantee to ensure that serialized client ID gets the value. Serialized game ID gets the value for game ID, and serialized local remote gets the value for local or remote. To add an order by clause, modify the query to sort the results by object name in the same order as object name interval. So we have to modify the query. Say order by object name iterable. So it's gonna order it by the object name inside the object name iterable. It's gonna go off of this order. For object name sorts the results alphabetically. Fuck. Whoa. Alphabetical order. So order by is just alphabetically. That we might not actually have these in alphabetical order. This doesn't make sense. This person is already in this order without sorting. If object name would be in a different order reliably. Robust solution. If you want the results to exactly match the order of object names, and once a month place the corresponding object names in. Test this order by and field. So it says field object name question mark position of object name. It's client ID, game ID, local, one base. These are sorted by this position. Or you'll pass object name interval twice. Once for the end clause and once for field. Precise control of order matches object name interval exactly, slightly more complex query. Object name interval. Is that? Oh, I've never seen that code. Isn't that? Confused about the unpacking with the asterisk. The asterisk operator unpacks a sequence like listed to arguments. 90 game ID. When we do this, combines two unpacked copies. Single tuple. This creates a tuple with 6 elements matching the 6 placeholders in the sequel query. SQL params expects SQL to SQL. So he assigned that. I see. Then rams a sequence of values and substitute into placeholders. The placeholders are filled. Yeah, I would just rather write it like this. That's what I would do. Yeah, I would just write this. I see what he's doing there, though. That's. I prefer. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just. It's just simpler, you know, simple. There's nothing wrong with simple, right? It's so let's modify this. So it's like save data, your object name, save. Way to say actually comma. Trying to think, how would we do this with placeholders? So we say where object name is in 1, 2, 3. So I'm a actually, I don't think this is going to work, but I'll try it like this. We just say it twice. We just do object name iter. I think instead of comma, we would probably do it like this. just use the dictionary option. It's a better option. So we're gonna so it doesn't actually have fields. guys. So I'll be back. I'm gonna go to the gym. I didn't go to the gym yesterday because my leg was bothering me. So heavy bag today, heavy bag day was supposed to be yesterday. Or heavy bag day, I like it. Bag day helps me. Yeah, we're gonna go do it. And then get another couple hours in, at least 2 more.